Today we're diving into a really crucial topic for anybody who's considering an EV or owns an EV, something that 80% of you agreed with in a recent poll that I ran maybe a month or two ago. And I asked you all, the people that watch my videos, and 80% of you agreed. Thanks for tuning in, folks. It's really nice to see so many subscribers to the channel. I think 80-something% of you aren't subscribed when I look at my data. So please do consider subscribing because it's free and it really does help my channel grow and spread on YouTube. For those of you that are new to the channel, I'm Ben Alexander and I make EV news videos most days. I typically try to do it every day, but I'm just so busy at the minute. I've got to go back to Australia and do some housework and faff around on a roof and stuff. So maybe not every day, but yeah, welcome to the channel. So those that follow my channel know that I focus quite heavily, more so on the affordable end of the market, so nothing ludicrously priced. I've run polls and petitions to try and make a difference, even just a small difference, to just show manufacturers about the current demand and just the clear, the clear pining for these vehicles that are cheap and affordable. So the Dacia Spring is coming to Europe at a bargain price, really a bargain price, and is very good. And you have a choice of two more trims over that, which take that price up to 17,000 British pounds. I love this car. I really think it's the coolest car. I really do. So it agonises me to say it, but I just don't think anybody should buy one for literally one reason. 80% of you agree that the battery should always come with cooling on it using two things: liquid cooling extraction and the air conditioning. This is something that should be a non-negotiable. So if you go to the shoe shop and you buy a pair of shoes, you wouldn't leave with just one shoe. You'd want two shoes because it gets the job done. Having a battery bolted to a car doesn't really get the job done. You can't do that and as a blanket rule and just sell it to the mass market in 27 European countries, for example. That does not work. It doesn't work at all, as we've seen with the Nissan Leaf. But they're going to try and do it, of course. This is something that should be non-negotiable. They're still trying to sell EVs to you. And if people don't know about this, this is an issue. So it's just like one of the first EVs, the Mitsubishi i-MiEV, the Nissan Leaf, and there are others actually. They have really severely degraded battery chemistry now at this point. A lot of them, not all of them. So if you live in the UK or a cold climate, it isn't the end of the world, I don't think. And maybe it's still worth it at that price, maybe. But even in places like the UK or Scandinavia, batteries will still need thermal management to warm up the batteries in freezing weather or to lower the temperature when there is too much heat energy building up in the battery cells. For example, when the battery's under load, when you're driving, a lot of things are happening in the chemistry in the batteries, a lot of resistance, creating heat, and that's literally just compounding in the cells and in between all the cells, and there's no way of getting it all out. Now, manufacturers are very lazy. They cling on to the term passive cooling, which it is just complete codswallop. It's rubbish. So BYD have showed us that for about £1,000 more, they can offer the BYD Seagull, and you can have an extra 10 kilowatt hours of battery storage or something like that. I can't remember the exact amount. And full thermal management with AC liquid cooling. So that is fantastic. If you buy the top spec BYD Seagull, then it has the 38.8 kilowatt hour battery, which has this cooling setup built into that battery pack. The cheaper one doesn't. So that is why I've said in previous videos, you must always get the 38.8 kilowatt one. And then basically you could drive it for 100,000 miles, and it should pretty much have the heat. He's not degrading the chemistry. So just to reiterate, the difference is that even just driving around, battery packs heat themselves up. And about 25 degrees Celsius, when the chemistry gets to that temperature, the chemistry kind of starts to break down at that point. Very slowly, but over the hours and the days, that all adds up. So therefore, you've got much less capacity sooner than is necessary. So if you have cooling on the batteries, it's really the actual use, the actual cycles alone that is wearing the chemistry out. So there are tons of Nissan Leafs in places like Australia and parts of the US where it is really warm. And these vehicles, sometimes I've seen them 4, 5, 6 years old. they've lost 30, 40, 50% capacity, and that is just no good at all. If you're going to pay £15,000, I'm sure you'd all agree £15,500, and just pay them 500 quid extra, plumb in some cooling, and sell us that car, basically. If you do that, basically, the batteries should, in theory, be able to deal with Brisbane, Sydney, Greece, Texas, these really hot climates. They should be fine to manage that, and that is fantastic. There are some people that will still buy the Dacia Spring EV or the Citroen C3, not knowing just how significant this is. Some people have got a clue, like a bit of a clue, that batteries in the winter, for example, need to be warmed up a bit so they can work better. But I just don't think people should be buying these EVs without battery cooling. So the rest of the Dacia Spring, like the other Dacia vehicles, totally palatable. It's really nice. So if we can all badger Dacia to do this and refuse to buy their EVs, send them an email, pester them, and just tell them give us that car, but we expect cooling on it, and then we will buy your car. I was going to place, if you say that stuff, you can make a difference. You really, really can. And we might as well actually be able to unionize in this way and make them understand that we won't buy rubbish that will break in 4, 5, 6 years' time. We may as well do that. Why wouldn't we do that? So if you're a member of a Dacia group, feel free to share this video because it is super, super important, I think.